evening to you. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. How are you doing? Not only do we produce very good topics for you to listen, we also give you very good music. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Tell us how you're doing by using any sticker that you have with you. Tell us how your day was. How did you spend your day? Give us any emoji or a sticker that you really think represents how your day was. My day was fantastic. I can see Kidole, the thumbs up. Oh, I can see somebody who is surprised. So I'm so sorry. Fantastic as well. That is Trivadi. You had a wonderful day. I can see. Keep those stickers coming, those reactions coming. Let us see them. Let us see them. Let us see them. Let us tell us how you do. What some people are celebrating. Hello, Matthew Mwenda. How are you doing? Mary Nambunya has said my day was hectic. We hope you got those deals to your side. My day was hectic. That is Mary Nambunya. Oh, who is this? Abel Mamai. I'm here to say hi to Grace, who was our amazing host at the 29th annual HR conference. Yes, Trivaria said, let us keep going. Yes, yes. Tell us how your day was. Tell us how your day was. We are not going to move forward until you tell us how your day was. This is very important. Tell us how. My day was fantastic. That is from Matthew Mwendwa. Chandaria, very good. Namaste. I'm Jambo. The day has been fantastic. That is Joseph had a blessed working day. That is Kitui. Also tell us where you are listening from. I can see Lynette Kilmatinde. She say great. Naomi Njoroge, my day was awesome. Very good. Hey, Pavesh is in Mumbai. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Continue telling us. Nice to meet you virtually. I don't know if you're telling Pavesh or you're telling Grace, but all the same, you're welcome to listen to our discussion.
Richard,
yes.
Pavesh is the one who was the speaker last week. How is Mumbai, Pavesh? You can tell us how you're doing, and thank you for joining us.
Yes. Emily Koech, all the way from Bomet. My day was busy but fruitful. Yes. Pavesh, how are you? Daniel Okal says his day was great. We are going to have a very important discussion because every other time you're going to your MD, you're going to your chief executive officer, you want to train people, and then the chief executive officer are there. MD asks you, what is the return on investment? And tonight we have one of the best speakers, Sandra. We call her the Oracle. She's going to tell us why she is an oracle. I am your host, Richard J. Magoma. And before we jump into the conversation, or I can see Gertruda Joseph from Tanzania. My day has been fantastic, and we hope you are safe. We hope you are safe. We hope you're safe. We hope you're safe, Gertruda Joseph. Richard has been an amazing host. Thank you very much. And then, yes, very good. Now, let me tell you the sponsors or the partners who have made the 7th season of Getting It Right successful. We are going to the end of 2025, surprisingly. We celebrated January the other day. Now we are headed to December. These are the sponsors of this particular wonderful conversation. Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages, if you want to enjoy where the River Nile, the longest river in the world, starts from, around there, that is where we have the Nile Front Cottages. Very beautiful cottages. The food is great. The ambience is fantastic. Nile Front cottages is your place to be. Then when it comes to psychometric tests, when it comes to emotional intelligence training, we have Profiles International. Profiles International. Then when you jump into Rwanda, we have K2 HR services. When you're in Rwanda or the entire East Africa, when you're in Rwanda and you want HR services, K2 services are your people to contact. Then from our friend Herbert Zake, we have Steadfast Quality Solutions International. They are HR consultants and they go by the tagline, your trusted consultancy partner. Herbert Zake, he is a strength finder. He has trained more than 500 professionals in finding their strengths. When you want to find your very good monetizable competencies, Herbert Zake with his team at Steadfast Quality Solutions are the people to talk to. They are in Uganda, Kampala. Of course, they are spreading their wings across Africa. Then when you're talking about insurance, AAR, when you are in control, when you want insurance, the people to talk to are AAR. Then when you're in Mombasa, when you have come from Rwanda, when you've come from Uganda, when you've come from Nairobi, whichever part of Africa or the world you are in, Pavesh, when you are in Mombasa, the people to talk to, Hotel Sapphire. Fantastic, very friendly, and they have all the very good amenities that you could want to have in such a facility. Then when you are in Nyanyuki, or you want to get out of the city, you want to get out of the bustle and hustle of the city and get into Nyanyuki, there is a classy resort called Tufaha. My friend, I have been there. Aesthetics. I nearly spoke Kiswahili, but because we are East Africans, I'm not going to do it. It is Wacha too. It is fantastic. And when you want to train yourself, or you have somebody who wants to be trained in good work matters or metal work, Penesa Training Institute is the place to go. Then for those people who love financial investments, we have Ports Circle. They say they uplift life. When you save with them, the dividends are quite good. Then for those who love food like me and Sandra, so Ted Kinyumbani in Nyanyuki is the place to be. They cook very good Africa. I know we cannot beat Nigerians when it comes to cooking, but Sotet Kinyumbani is the place to be so that you can enjoy African food. And even the serving is absolutely out of this world. Grace, I don't know if tomorrow there is the job evaluation masterclass that is starting tomorrow until the 7th, starting from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You will get 6 CBD points. Swiss Lenana Mount Hotel is the venue.
No, Richard, we have changed the venue to Pridin Azure, whatever.
Okay, yeah. Azure. We'll have, I don't know, we have
Pridin Westlands.
Pridin Westlands. That is the place to be so that you can learn how to do job evaluations. Ladies and gentlemen, have I seen Catherine Shidandi today? Is she there? Catherine, are you there? And of course, behind the mic, you're not going to see her really because she's on the road. Grace, our moderator of choice. We hope you are well. And tonight we have a wonderful, wonderful speaker. I have known Sandra, the Oracle, for quite a while. And I know she has the energy. And that is what she's going to dispense tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Put your mouths on the ready to welcome Sandra Inahacho. You will tell us how to pronounce that one. We don't want to bite our tongue saying that the other name, but I know she goes by Sandra the Oracle. Let us know how to do return on investment when you want to see what value has training brought to you. I can see Patrick has celebrated you. Karibu sana, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be joining in from, because I see some persons joining in from Mumbai. I guess it should be late night. Thank you so much to our host, the moderator of choice, Grace, the Smiling Queen. I'm giving her another name. It's called the Smiling Queen. I've seen someone that's beaten me in smiling. She's called the Smiling Queen. That's the name I've given her. And it's a pleasure to be here with you all. And let me share my slides and let us start this. Okay, so I'm sharing my slides now. And if I continue, let me do that. I pin it. Okay, good. Do you mind Richard, do you mind pinning me so that I could get to see that, if you don't mind?
Let me see.
But if you can't do it, that's fine.
I cannot be able to see
Jacinta
spotlight.
can. Jacinta is the
success?
host.
Jacinta, you can spotlight Sandra.
Is it she wants to be pinned?
Oh, she wants to be pinned.
Yes. Also,
okay.
Yes, that's fine. Right. Thank you so much.
And
thank you,
everyone. Co-host. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, the Queen. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone. And once again, good evening, everyone. And this is what I'll be sharing with you today. How many people love what they are seeing, those dollars? Richie, please just be sending me a chat. I told Grace how many minutes do I have. Grace, I have just 30 minutes for discussion and 15 minutes for questions. So let's see how to manage that. I'm already checking my time.
I can see somebody's laughing. They love money. They love the nairas. They love the dollars.
That's great. So how to deliver return on investment and return on expectation on every training investment. That's what I'll be talking about this night. And it's something I love talking about. Once again, just like Coach Richie has already, and I've known Coach Richie. Coach Richie is a Nigerian, so he has dual citizenship.
Yes,
he has dual citizenship. You know now, he's a Nigerian. So I'm known as Sandra the Oracle, and I'm known as Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. And I'm going to tell you why that is. And I say, welcome, so glad you're here. Now, I want to take permission. I'm out of station, and so I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, but not in Lagos, which is where I stay. That's why I say I'm out of station. And so I sincerely apologize because I teach this. You're supposed to use a headset when presenting. And so I'm out of station, so I don't carry all those things along with me. And if you hear noises at the background, please forgive me and just bear with me. Okay, so welcome. So glad you are here. So glad you are here. And Coach Richie has already spoken about me. I just want to say a bit, there's a reason why I'm putting this up. I'm known as the CEO where I work. It's called Embrand Consulting Limited, the Human Capital Development Organization here in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm an ex-banker. I'm a mother of 5 children, 3 beautiful boys and 2 girls. I'm known as a transfer enabler for Africa with the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness. So transfer effectiveness the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness is an institute that is in charge of helping businesses see transfer, helping businesses apply what they learn, what their staff have learned. So you can see why I'm sharing this with you. I've been very interested in ROI and ROE for years, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. I'm also known as Nigeria's first certified transfer designer. I'm a certified Kirkpatrick professional, bronze level. I just finished my silver level. I'm waiting to finish my project, and then the next day I'll do the gold, which is the highest level. I'm an IFC Global Master Trainer. IFC is International Finance Corporation Global Master Trainer. I'm a certified assessor with the Learning Performance Institute in the UK. I'm a resource person with the Lagos Business School here in Lagos, Nigeria. I teach on leadership. I'm a certified transformational coach. I'm a certified team and group coach. I'm a teacher and trainer for the past 26 years, both formally and informally. And I say, this is a quote by the Oracle, whenever you stop learning, you start dying, right? And because of that, these are some certifications I'm going to get next year. Accelerated Learning by Tom Maria and High Performance Learning Journeys by Promote Robert Brinker. Now, why did I share this with you? For us as HR, L&D or trainers, like I work, my company is also into training. It's if you want to add value, if you want to help clients get return, there's a need for you to get the right knowledge, get the right experience, get the right certification. So all the certification I just drilled down to you, it covers the 3 phases of training. Training has just 3 phases, which is a pre-phase, during phase, and post-phase. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of that. And so don't think I'm blowing my trumpet. There was a reason for me to do that. Because if you stop learning, you start dying. So you need to own your craft. And that is what I have done. And I'm proud to say I've owned my craft. And when it comes to measurement and evaluation in Africa, the voice you think about is the Oracle Sandra, because I've owned my craft. Okay. So let's move ahead. And so this is something I did recently. This is the work. What I'm going to be discussing with you on showing ROI and ROE is a work of 14 years. Yes, I didn't say 14 days. I didn't say, okay, let me start. I didn't say 14 seconds, 14 minutes, 14 hours, 14 days, 14 weeks, 14 months. I said 14 years since 2011, when I started finding out why is it that when organizations want to cut costs, they go to the training budget. Why? I didn't understand that. Why touch training budget? I thought training was to help organizations become better. You train your employees, they learn what you've trained them on, they come back to the organization, put it into place, the organization start becoming more productive, earning more money. Then why go to training budget? It didn't make sense. And that was where my adventure, will I say, started from. I started asking questions, started looking for places to, I didn't see it in Nigeria, I didn't see it in Africa, truth be told. And I had to go over the board. I had to go to the US, I had to go to Switzerland, the Europe, and that was where I started getting answers. And when I got the answers, I brought it back to Nigeria. So this is an operating system I developed after 14 years. It was finalized last year. It's called the Training Transfer Effectiveness Operating System, made up of 2 models and a framework. The MVP, Needs Validation Process Model, the PDP, pre-training, during training, post-training transfer effectiveness model, and the training transfer effectiveness sustainability framework. And I'm going to be telling you, this is what clients are using, and I'm going to show you how you would use it if time permits us to use it to show ROI and ROE on your every training investment. This is African grown. Yeah, African grown. It was made specifically for Africa. African businesses, it was for us. For crying out loud, why do we need to reinvent the wheel? We don't need to do that. I just got what Europe and America has been talking. With all the clients have been tested, tried, and decided to do what can help Africa. And that's why if you listen to those in America and Europe, they're talking about, so those in America, which is like the Kirkpatrick, they're talking about return on expectation. Empathy is talking about return on investment. I'm sure you've heard of Return on Investment Institute. Then the 12 levers talking about return on expectation. In Africa, if you're talking about return on expectation and you don't talk about money, you're on your own. In Nigeria, I'm sure it's the same thing in Africa. In Nigeria, you want to talk about return on expectation, you don't talk about return on investment, you're on your own. They will not listen to you because they're talking about financial gains. So ROI is financial gains. ROE is non-financial gains. And we're going to see how to marry both. And so what our operating system does is we are talking about the two. We are talking about ROI, we are talking about ROE. With that, we are able to penetrate businesses and penetrate countries and penetrate organizations. So this is for Africa. So I'm also the pioneer of the training transfer effectiveness movement across Africa. So for every African country I go to, I'm telling them, come, we're Africans. We know these things. Can we stop wasting resources of the organization? Can we stop wasting resources of the businesses? It's so painful. And I'm going to be sharing with you. It's very, very painful. And so let's do that together. Okay, so these are some of the objectives for this session. By the end of the session, you should be able to recognize the difference between being an order taker and a strategic partner. You should be able to craft a bold professional message to reposition yourself with internal or external stakeholders. You should be able to take the first step in shifting your influence from transactional training to strategic impact. Because when you do strategic impact, you see ROI and ROE, not strategic, not transactional training. You will not see ROI and ROE in transactional training. And last but not the least, you should decide on your next line of action. You cannot have created opportunity to be here, and yet you leave this webinar without something different, without what you would do differently. No, that means you've done yourself a disservice of being here. And you've done it myself, Grace, our convener, even Richie, and others that put this together, a disservice. Ensure you're noting down, note your questions down, ensure you leave this webinar with something to make you different, no matter how little it is, but leave with something. Now, our roadmap. We're going to take polls, Q&A, and your next line of action. In all my webinars, I like putting up this. Difficult road leads to beautiful destination. I'm going to be checking the chat box. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this?
Personally, I agree. I agree.
Okay. Okay. So just type into chat, yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you so much. I'm saying the yes, yes. Thank you, Richie, too. Yes, indeed. So, and that's why we are here. You want to get ROI and ROE, it is work. Are you ready to do that work? Are you ready to put in what you need to put in to get the work? I'm going to share very quickly, and I'm a facilitator, not just a trainer. So I'm going to be facilitating and sharing stories with you, right? I spoke to an HR director, and I told her about ROI and ROE. And guess what she said to me? She said, Sandra, don't come into my organization. I'm okay with what is happening there. My CEO doesn't know about ROI and ROE. And don't come and meddle the water for me. Just, I'm not ready for all those external, all those, so much work. I'm not ready for it. And guess what I said to her? I said, one day you will get a CEO that knows about ROI and ROE, and I will know what you will say that time. I said, well, when that time comes, but right now, Sandra, don't just even meddle. So are you going to be like that director of HR that said that to me? Or you're going to be somebody that said, I'm ready to do the work. Whatever it takes, as I hear from whatever the Oracle is saying today, I will go and do some research, do more, because 40 minutes cannot give you what you want. This took me 14 years. This has taken so many people many years. But what I'm trying to do is to quicken you and start. Let there be a change. Okay. So who are the people in the room? Who is in the room? Just type in, what's your role, please? Are you an HR professional? Are you an L&D professional, or you're a trainer? Or you have another role? What are you? Just type into the chat. Trainer, thank you. Coach Ichi, I know. Okay, so type into the chat box. HR. Okay, I can see HR. Yeah, HR. I'm a coach. Thank you. Oh, thank you, sir. You're welcome. HR consultant, HR teacher, HR trainer, and a CEO, HR journalist. Wow, we have a lot of HR people here. No L&D. Okay, there's L&D. Thank you. Yes, sir. Where's there? Oh, I got that right. Operations. Good. Let it keep coming. So what I'm saying is I have more of HR here. However, I want to believe that the HR here, you are also doing the L&D work. Some of you are doing the L&D, right? Because I know there are some organizations that do that. Okay, thank you. What's your why? Why are you in this webinar today? You want to type into chat. Why are you in this webinar today? Why did you leave the comfort of your home? Why did you come? Okay, Habesh said refresh. Okay, who else? Refresher. Okay, Chandaria says refresher. What is L&D? Okay, L&D is learning and development. I'm sorry, learning and development. Elizabeth says, I'm here to learn and change. Edna says L&D, great. I'm here to learn. I'm here to be empowered. Rose. Where do we stand now on measuring ROI? Great. Beautiful. Understanding ROI, Daniel. Okay, keep it coming. That means we are all in the same, and you will get older. You will get it. Now, let's move ahead. My mission is to shift organizations, is to shift to have for you to have a mind shift change first. Because if you do not have a shift in your mindset, you cannot see yourself creating ROI and ROE. So I need you to have a shift that training is not an event-based. Training is supposed to change things. As an HR, I'm asking you this question. Do you see yourself as an order taker or a strategic partner? Who are you? Are you an order taker or a strategic partner? In case you don't know, very soon I'll tell you what it is. And so I've already said my story. Most times when I come to you, I try to say my story, why I started what I was doing. But because of time, I will continue, and along the line, I will tell my story. I will tell my story, why I started all this and why I became deeply involved in this. So I start today's webinar with a mindset shift. My question to you, are you willing to do what it takes to see ROI and ROE on all your training investments? For me, it took me 14 years. For you, it will not take you 14 years because there's somebody that's already done it, so it's easier for you. So, but are you ready? Are you willing to do what it takes? It's a call to be courageous. Yes, because you're going to get pushback from your fellow colleagues. You're going to get pushback from your CEO. You're going to get pushback from even the line managers. It's a call for you to be courageous. Are you ready? And by the way, courage is not the absence of fear. Yeah? Courage is not the absence of fear. So are you ready to be courageous as an HR person, as an L&D, as a CEO, as a COO? It is the boldness to challenge the status quo and step into a bigger role. Are you ready to challenge the status quo? As HR, as L&D, as operations, because those in operations, you're going to be learning some things, yeah? That if your HR is not here, you're going back to ask your HR this question. I learned this on Grace's webinar. Why are we not doing this? Even the CEOs in my midst, you're going to learn this and you're going back to your HR. Why are we not doing this? So it is the boldness to challenge the status quo and step into a bigger role. For HR and L&D, that means moving from being order takers to strategic partners. And strategic partners are the only persons that can deliver return on investment and return on expectation. If you're an order taker, you cannot deliver. Quote me anywhere. If you're an order taker, you cannot deliver return on investment and return on expectation. But only if you're a strategic partner, then you can do that. And what does it take to be a strategic partner? What does it take to be who is an order taker? We're going to be looking at that. And again, so you cannot drive ROI and ROE if you're sitting quietly waiting for instruction. Before you talk about training, the first step is, now we have already started. The first step is to understand, do you know your business objective? I was talking to some persons, some HR and L&D people in a gathering, and I was asking them, what are the strategic objectives of your organization? And they didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know. That is where you started failure. You cannot be in an organization and you don't know what the strategic objectives are. Some organizations have a 5-year strategic objective, some 3 years, some 2 years. Even if you have 5 years, it's called year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So assuming you have like a 2020 to 2025. So this should be the 5th year. And so from 2020, they had already mapped up all year 1 was supposed to be year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. So if you're on this call and you do not know the strategic objectives of your business, write it down. That's your first assignment. When you get back, go and find out. What is this? I know the year is almost over. So looking at organizations are doing their retreat now. Ensure that as your retreat is going on, you are taking note of what your organization wants to do in 2026, 2027, and beyond based on what they have. What are the strategic objectives? If you don't know what your business is trying to achieve, you cannot have the business. A lot of HR, and that's why they call us cost centers, HR. And when I say HR, I mean L&D too. They call us cost centers because they say we don't add value. Now I ask you, are you a cost center? Let me ask. Response. Are you a call center? Are you a call center? Are you a call center? No. Nat says no. Okay. Are you a call center? No. Pamela says no. Okay. Okay. Fiona says no. Okay. Great. Great. If you're not a call center, beautiful. Then show them that you're not a call center by adding to the business, by adding value to the business. They see us as we tick box. The HR has come again with their policies. They see us as people that staunch. We just want to stand on our policies. So you must, the beginning of ROI and ROE is what is the business trying to achieve. Then what are your departmental objectives in line with the strategic objectives? That's 2 now. 3, the various departments. Some organizations have up to 20 departments, some 25, some 40, yes. Another organization have 40 departments. Now, I am not saying that you should know all the objectives of the 40 departments. I'm saying whoever is thinking about asking for training, requesting for training from HR, have an idea. Why? What are they trying to meet? What are their objectives as a department? Because when you show them the why thing, what is it in for them? That you're here to help them to achieve their objectives, I bet you they will listen to you. They would listen to you. We've seen there's a gully. You know what a gully is? A gully is a deep hole between the HR, L&D, and the line managers. And I'm here to tell you, don't allow that gully to continue. Build a bridge. And how do you build a bridge? By showing them that you are here for them. You are here to help them achieve their goals and objectives. Great. So let's move on. So you must be a strategic partner who is ready to challenge assumptions, ask the right questions, and lead with purpose. That is who the kind of strategic partner you should be. And that is where you should be heading to. Now, let me quickly tell you who an order taker is and who a strategic partner is. Let me quickly do that. Now, an order taker delivers program on demand, whereby maybe what department? ICT reaches out to you and says, I want to send my people on negotiation training. And you just start looking for people like myself and Richie and any other trainer here, great, or any of us that are ready to do it without finding out why do you want a training on negotiation without having that conversation. A strategic partner would pause and say, is training really the solution or do you need something else? That is how a strategic partner thinks. Not, I want a training on this. You start sourcing for vendors to do the training. No, that's not where you start from. An order taker avoids conflict. I'm not ready for their trouble. They just want us to train them on leadership. Let them go on the leadership training they want to. But they just went on leadership training last year. And it doesn't matter. Let them just go. No. An order taker courageously speaks the truth and said, you went for leadership training last year, and now you want to go for the same leadership training this year. Why do you want to go for this training? What had changed? When you went last year, what happened? Now you want to go for a second one. What are you looking at again? Those conversations, that's what an order taker does. That's what a strategic partner does. An order taker provides training when told. But what does a strategic partner do? They co-create solutions aligned with business objectives. I can bet dollars on that. How many people here can courageously say that all your training this year, which you started in January this year, aligned with your business objective and it has given you return? I want to see how many people. And it gave you return on investment and return on expectation, and you were able to say, how many people? Because I'll call you up and you will share with us how you did that. Then that means we'll teach it together. How many of you as HR and L&D we're able to, since this year, just like Coach Richie said, the year is almost over. We're in November. All the trainings you've been running, have you been able to say, can you boast now and say, yes, this training I ran in February, this was the return on investment and this was the return on expectation on the training. And we'll give you the floor to share with us to help us so we can learn. How many people? I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. I think we need to buy grace, right? the moderator of choice, we need to buy her a Grace. What kind of wine do you like? Not champagne. Do you like the white wine? You know, what do you like? We need to buy you that for thinking about this and saying people need this at this point in time. Grace, check the chat box. Nobody is typing anything. So you've done something great. And please, Coach Richie, can you just please put applauses for Grace, please? Because that shows that this is the problem. This is the problem. Nobody is typing anything. So meaning that your return on your training have not been showing return on investment or return on expectation. You cannot prove that. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Grace, for this opportunity given to everyone. We sincerely appreciate you. And that's why you're called the moderator of choice and you're called the smiling queen. Thank you so much for this. So that means this is a problem. Yes, it's a problem. And we are going to try to see how we can solve it within the limited time we have. We're going to try to see how to solve it. Another taker tracks attendance sheet, what we call level 1 and level 2. For those of how many people, let me ask, how many people know the Kirkpatrick 4 levels of evaluation? I do. Thank you, Coach Richie. Coach Richie, I know you do. Thank you. Yes, so yes, Susan. Yes, Susan. Oh my God. Reactions, results, behavior, impact. The 4 levels, I do. Oh, Grace, the champion, that's fine. So I'm just saying 3 persons that say I do. Okay. Assignment number 2 or number 3, I don't know what assignment number have I given. Go and find out about the 4 levels of evaluation, Kirkpatrick. That is the easiest way to evaluate ROE. Very easy. It's the easiest. There are over 54 models and framework. It can be more than that, but the last time I checked, I researched, there were over 54 models and framework to help you show ROI and ROE. Mostly ROI, ROE, and both of them, right? So, and it is the easiest. Go and Google it and use. So level 1 and level 2 talks about tracking attendance sheet. HR and L&D, they're interested in people, 80% attended. They were happy. They liked the food. They danced. They somersaulted. They swam. Is that what is going to give the organization return on investment? All those stuff. That's what we call level 1 and level 2. Reaction. We are talking about, you're not even talking about, it's not going to turn the dial. And that is what a lot of HR are doing. I'm so sorry, I'm going to be hitting HR. I'm going to be breaking chairs and tables this night. Forgive me. But a strategic partner, you measure business impact of learning. And that is what I want you to start doing now. See, I was like you before. Yeah. I'm going to be very vulnerable and share with you. I was like you before. I was measuring attendance sheet, level 1 and level 2. But I've become better. I decided that no way, no more. And that's why I'm different now. So you have to take a decision today. What do you want? What do you want? So if you want transfer effectiveness, you must start by writing your identity in your organization because they see you as an order taker. You must rewrite your identity. Take 60 seconds and be honest with yourself. How are you really positioned in your organization today? Are you an order taker, a strategic partner, or in transition? You can choose anyone and put it up. But ask this question before. You can do A, B, or C. If I see A, I know it's an order take. If I see B, I know it's a strategic partner. And if I see C, I know it's in transition. And those that put B, I would ask you questions. But feel free to do it. So when leadership thinks of HR or L&D today, do they see you as a partner shaping strategy? Or they see you as someone waiting to take orders? Look in the mirror of your organization. Do you position HR and L&D as a driver of business growth? Or you're positioning us, HR and L&D, as a support service? You're not a support service. You are a driver of business growth. Say it to yourself. Say, I am not a support service. Nana, I am a driver of business growth. I don't know about you. I'm saying it because that is what I am. And even though you're not there, say it to yourself so that you can start working on yourself so that you become what? A driver of business growth, not a support service. So if someone were to describe your role in one sentence today, would it sound like an order taker or it would sound like a strategic partner? Imagine your CEO is asked who you are in this organization. Would they call you a business partner or just the person who runs the training, just the person who takes people on vacation, what would they call you? That's for you to respond to. Now, let's go into ROI and ROE. How can HR or L&D or the trainer, because I see there are trainers here, so I'm going to also be talking to trainers to also help you. How do you help your client deliver return on investment and return on expectation on training? We start from the beginning. It starts from the beginning. I see someone that wrote AC. A and C. No, it cannot be A and C now. You have to be one. Okay, other taker, you're in transition. Okay, that's great. Okay, other taker, you decided to transition. Awesome. Thank you so much for those transiting. You decided to transit. Awesome. Beautiful. Well done. Keep it coming. We're going to start from the very beginning. We want to see ROI and ROE. It starts from the very beginning. Where is the beginning? That is where I want to take you now. Where is the beginning? This is the beginning. Can you see this? What do you think? Why did this house collapse? Is there anybody that wants to? You can type into chat. I'm opening the chat. I'm reading. Why did this house collapse? Why? Is there anybody? And if you think you want to very quickly, okay, that will take time if you allow people to speak. Just type into chat. I'll be patient to wait to see what you write, to read out what you. Why do you think this house collapsed?
Nancy has said weak foundation, poor foundation from Edna Rono, weak foundation from Doreen.
Beautiful.
Maybe the foundation was not laid out well by Josephine,
bombed
by Kinuzia.
Kinuzia said bombed. Awesome. Weak foundation. Let me ask again. What about this one? I'm sure it's the same thing. You're going to give me the same response, right? That is the problem we have in training. The problem starts when you assume that training is the solution for every performance issue. That is where the problem starts. When you assume that training is the panacea, training is the solution for every performance issue. I'm sure you hear it in your organization. When there's a performance gap, they send them on training. When there's someone is having after performance appraisal and they bring up the challenges, they say, send the person on training. Send the person on training. Most often, that's what you get to hear. Send them on training. Have you considered sometimes that maybe training is not the solution? Have you considered sometimes maybe mentoring will just be the solution? Maybe coaching will just be the solution. Maybe reworking of the work, reworking what the person is will just be the solution. Maybe job transfer will just be the solution. Have you thought about that? That maybe that may just be the solution. Then when you train, most often, a lot of people focus on delivery. They forget the pre-phase of training and the post-training phases. They just focus on delivery. Get someone that is very interesting, someone that can make people laugh, that can make people dance, that can make people even give out their dollars. And that they will have fun, enjoy, and jump up and down. Get someone to do that. And they forget the pre-phase that something happens before training and something happens after training. That is where the problem starts. And I'm going to show you a practical example that happened this year, in January this year. Let me see on the chat box if there's something people are saying. Dynamic environment, supervision during construction. Okay, thank you. I was referring to as to training. That's why I brought it that. And I'm sure you've gotten that now. Bridging the gap from training to real world application. This happened early this year. And it's a case study. And if you want it later, Grace will share it with you. A client reached out to us. They are in the creative and commercial production. And the CEO said they wanted us to train their staff on the following areas: documentation practices, communication issues, reactive work culture, leadership development, and HR management. That they wanted us to train their staff in this 5 things. What do you think I would have done? Before now, Sandra, I would have given her a proposal and would have gone ahead to start training their staff. But I told her, because I know better, I told her, no, you cannot. What if these are not training issues? That can we, first of all, do a diagnostic approach and find out if are these really training issues? So you can see, I'm a training company, a client reached out to me. I think so it's just like you, HR in an organization, reaching out to me and asking me this to do this. And I told the lady, the CEO, we have to do this first. And CEO was like, they need training. Those my people, it is training that is their problem. They need training. I said, madam, you came to me for a reason, right? Can we just hold on and follow the process? She grudgingly accepted because she was in the business school I teach, and we were highly respected. So she grudgingly accepted. And guess what happened? This was what happened. We used one of our models, which is called the needs validation process model. Now, this is what the model is all about. Whenever there's a performance gap, don't assume the issue is training. Do a diagnostic to find out what exactly the problem is. And this is the step we follow. The first thing we had a diagnostic conversation with the CEO, which was a training sponsor. After that, she had already earmarked the people she wanted to go for the training. We had a conversation with those people. After that, we did a root cause analysis. Then we presented our report to her. See what happened. This was what came up. We found out. Now, when we had the conversation with the CEO, these were the issues she complained. She said the people were not documenting, documentation perceived as burdensome, that they didn't have any standard ways to document work, communication tools were misused or fragmented, that the staff were overwhelmed with frequent directive changes, that the production team often reacts instead of planning. These were her own insights. That's fine. We had a conversation with those that were earmarked for the training. These were their own insights. These were the problems. They said SOPs exist. However, they hardly use the SOPs. They said they had a Google Drive, but it didn't have a central protocol. So when you're looking for something, it takes you a whole lot of time. Something that you need ASAP, you have to go and keep searching and searching and searching, asking questions before you get it. Remember the MD said they were not proactive. Can you now see why they were not proactive? She said they were not proactive. Then they told me, how can they be proactive? When they are looking for documents, it takes them like 1 hour to look for documents. They said communication was incomplete and it was rushed or delayed. They acknowledged that they needed leadership and mentoring. They also acknowledged that there was no HR person. So various people were doing the roles informally. These were their insights. And now when we took the two data, now data never lies. Say that again to me. Data what? Never lies. We took the two data and the data from the CEO and the data from the employees. And when we compared it, this is what we did. A lot of people are doing what? They are not looking at the problem. The problem is the root cause of the problem is down. You have to dig it out. You have to search it out. A lot of people look at the symptom. Above is just the symptom. No. If you keep looking at the symptoms and not dig it, let me give a very clear example. You went to the hospital, you go to the hospital tomorrow, and you met the doctor, and you complained to the doctor that I've been feeling very feverish, and I have loss of appetite, and I'm having a headache. And the doctor just writes a prescription and said, Nat, please, she's having malaria, or he's having malaria. Go and give them malaria medicine. Let me ask you, what will you do? Is there anybody that wants to respond? What will you do? What will you do? You're the one that went to the hospital. What are you going to do? Any comments? What will you do? Okay, so while we wait for that to come, what you will do? I'm sure you will do what I will do. I would like, excuse me, what did you say? Fiona said you will run. Bad practice. Sam says bad practice. Yeah. But that is what we do as HR and L&D. There's a problem, and we say training is a solution. Blood test, seek another opinion. Yeah, check another institution. Yeah, but that is what HR and L&D, that is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. We are giving a prescription without testing. You're doing like that, doctor. There's a performance issue. There's a performance gap. Send them on training. You're not finding out what really the issue is. And so this was what we found out. That the issue was not just a knowledge and skill. The issue was not just a knowledge and skill gap, but there were also leadership issues that were also present. We also found out that the company problems stem for unclear rules, lack of planning and accountability gaps. We also found out that with all that data, we found out that what they needed was a dual approach. They needed a training and they needed non-training intervention. And this was the result we gave to them. And this was what we submitted to them. The training intervention, they needed training on communication skills. They needed training on leadership development. The non-training intervention, they don't need training on documentation systems. They can do that themselves. It's for them to decide that this is how we document things, this is what we will do. HR management structures, get an HR, we told them, either outsource your HR or get an in-house HR person. It must not be maybe someone that is still greenhorn, you won't pay so much if you're looking at cost, but someone that will grow with you people. Again, culture shift from reactive to proactive was them telling themselves the story. It's not that they didn't want to be proactive. It's just that there were issues making them not to be proactive. So can you imagine how much the company would have lost if we had done this training for them? Would have eaten their money and would have gone, and the problem would still be there. Guess what? When we submitted this, the woman never came back to us on the non-training intervention. Yeah? She did it on her own. She did it by herself. But it was okay by us. It was okay because what we want to do is to add value. So the starting point is, do not conclude. First of all, do a diagnosis. When you have a performance gap, someone sends you and says, I want to send my people on leadership training. I want to send my people on communication training. Can you do a diagnosis and find out what exactly the issue is? There are so many examples I can use with you. Because of time, I will not do that. These are live real examples. Even the people that have reached out to me and said, Coach Sandra, I did this. They sent me and they told me they wanted to go on training. We had this conversation with them and we found out that training was not the issue. So it is real. It is happening. Now, let's move ahead. So now you've done this and you found out that training is not the issue. What's the next thing to do? Okay, this is the outcome. Let me just look at it. So MVP was validated, proved critical, so there was validation, so proved critical for the result. There was clarity for everyone. There was alignment, the training objectives match their business needs. There was staff engagement because their employees felt involved when we were asking all those questions, and there was cost avoidance. Irrelevant training avoided. And there was savings. So we saved the organization the money they would have paid us for training. And this is what you can do for your business when you don't jump into conclusion and you find out first what it is. So if we hadn't used this model, the GSO company would have wasted money training the wrong thing. Now, we found out that the problem, Africa is not suffering from a lack of training problem. Yeah? What we are suffering from is a training transfer effectiveness problem. That's what we are suffering from. Now, we've done the first level and we've been able to test there was a performance gap, and we found out that this is either a training intervention or a non-training intervention or an integrated approach. An integrated approach is what happened with this client we worked with, both a training intervention and a non-training intervention. Now, what is the next thing to do? That's what I'm going to be showing you now. I'm going to go through this very fast. You can always get this. I just wanted to show you data on training spend. $3 billion was spent on training by organizations in the Middle East in 2024. $3 billion. That's where it is. Data. I live on data. $98 billion was spent on training by organizations in the US. That's where I got the data from. And organizations are complaining that they are spending so much on training. Now, think about your last training, which I've already asked you. How many of your staff apply what they learned on the job? How many? How many have consistently applied what they learned on the job? If they did, how did you know they really did apply it? These are questions for you to think about. The reality, data never lies. The statistics are very clear. Most corporate training program fails to drive real change. Consider this. Only 12% of employees applying new skills learned in training programs to their job. This is not my data. You can get it online. It is there. Only 25% of respondents believe that their training measurably improved performance. I'm sure some of you have heard of the Herman Ebbinghaus theory. He said that we forget 75% of what we learn in 6 days unless we apply. Google him. He came up with this. He said, for 75% of what we learn, we forget it in 6 days unless we start applying it. So this was a research he did on memory and retention. So it's demonstrating that we quickly forget almost everything we are told unless we apply it regularly. Yet many training programs fail to provide the opportunity to do so. And that is what I want to show you now, how to do that. We've done the first level, we're entering the second level. Your leaders want proof. I'm taking you to how to give them the proof. Are you showing them that proof? Your leader wants evidence. Are you showing them that evidence? Are you showing it to them? That is where I'm not going to take you how to show it. So the proof is return on investment and return on expectations on your training. I've talked about this before. ROI is the financial gain compared to the training cost. Why the ROE is the extent to which the stakeholders' goals were met. If they say I want employees to be happy, what does that mean? Can you define that? If your CEO tells you, I find out that people are so gloomy, I want them to be happy. This an organization should be an organization that people are happy coming to. Can you define that? Well, you know that's an expectation. So if you want to be a strategic partner, you must be able to define that. Yes. You feel you cannot define, but I tell you we can define it. You can define that I want them to be happy by asking what I call performance consultant questions. You have to ask questions. The more you ask questions, you drill down. Because of, if there's time, I will share about a client that reached somebody that reached out to us and was saying she wanted communication, effective communication. We drilled it down, found that that was not what she wanted. So you must be HR and L&D as trainers. You must be performance consultants. Yes, you must be on the performance, on the money. That's what you should be talking about. So why you not see ROI and ROE on your training investment? Do you want to know why? This is why, and I'm going to show you now. There's something we call training transfer effectiveness. It talks about training effectiveness, training transfer effectiveness. Training effectiveness is when you send people on training. And for instance, you say at the end of the training, you want everyone to score 90% and above. And at the end of the training, everyone in the class are scoring 90, 95, some 100. That is what training effectiveness is. It measures if the learning objective was achieved. That's training effectiveness. Now, training transfer. What is training transfer? Training transfer measures. Now, let's give an example. You send an employees on a training or maybe a customer service training, and you taught them to make use of, let's do the telephone etiquette. That whenever they should not allow the telephone to ring more than 3 times, and whenever it rings, when they pick up, they say, hello, good morning. This is Atara Solutions. My name is Grace. How may I help you? That is how we want people to respond in our organization. Now, after the training, they go back and they say, good morning. And someone calls and says, good morning. Welcome to Atara Solutions. My name is Sandra. How may I help you? And they apply it. You say training transfer has happened. But guess what? We found that, research has found that, data has found that employees get tired. Sometimes 1 month, they start it 1 month, they stop. They say, oh, this thing, I cannot do this thing again, please. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You would cut your tongue one day. They stop trying, they get tired. That is what training transfer is. They've applied it, but has it been consistently applied to show ROI and ROE? No. Now, what is training transfer effectiveness? Training transfer effectiveness is a situation whereby employees are able to apply what they've learned consistently with inbuilt structures in place. If there are no structures built in place, employees will come back to the workplace. They cannot apply what they learned. I've heard of people that went for an Excel training, and they came back, they don't have even an Excel, a laptop or a desktop to start applying and working on Excel. Their work had nothing to do with for them to use the Excel, and they forgot what they learned. Some people, they went to learn Python. They came back, they were not able to use those Python to apply, and they forgot it. Training transfer effectiveness is saying, build in structures so that whatever it is they've learned, they will be able to keep applying it. And so this is exactly what it is. So training effectiveness measures the learning and engagement. Training transfers measures the application on the job. Then training transfer effect measures the sustained performance and business growth. And that is what we are talking about. That is where you miss this, you will not see ROI and ROE. And this is what we call the costly circle of failed training investment. Pre-training is ignored. During training is focused only on. Post-training is weak. Without, you will not see ROI and ROE. Now, how do you go about that? This is how to build. Stephen Covey says, there was something Stephen Covey says. Stephen Covey says, start with the end in mind. I'm wrapping up now. Start with the end in mind. That's what Stephen Covey. I'm sure you all know him. Who wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, you start from the beginning, from the preface. In the preface, everything you want to see at the end of the training, you do it there. The first, strategic planning. You're meeting with the strategic partners. You're taking baseline data. You're getting expectations. You are getting participants ready. Everything you want to see post-training must be defined in the preface. They are on 20%. You want them to be on 50%. You must define it. Showing how do they move? What do they are on 20% now? What are the things we must put in place so that they will get to 50%? It must be defined. Every single thing you want to see. See, you don't start after the training is over. You will never see ROI and ROE. You start even before the training starts and design everything you want to see. And this is what we use to design that. You design the pre-phase, you design the during phase, you design the post-phase. Baseline data is very key because that is what you're going to use to evaluate. We have case studies of real clients data as worked with. And on this note, I know my time is up. You cannot transform business outcomes if you only take orders. True impact begins when HR and L&D dares to lead the conversation. Are you ready to lead the conversation? Are you ready to lead the conversation? Are you ready to start? First of all, the diagnosing. You've diagnosed, then you go the 3 phases. Don't forget the 3 phases. Pre-phase, during phase, post-phase. At the pre-phase, everything you want to see in the post-phase, you design at the pre-phase. Take your baseline data, have engagement with the stakeholders. See, in Africa, we say that it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, we agree. Africa, that's what we talk about. And that's why when a neighbor beats you and you go and report, beats your child, and your child comes to report to you, you're telling the child, you beat the child back and say, are you okay? Go and get out of here. I'm sure why the neighbor beat you, did something wrong. Same thing with ROI and ROE. HR and L&D, if you did not take anything from this webinar today, take this. You do not have the sole responsibility to show ROI and ROE. It is a joint responsibility of the management, executive management, the trainers, you, the HR and L&D, the employees, the line managers, and the training and the environment, the organizational environment. These are the 6 components that will help ROI and ROE to show. Please take note of this. It's not only your body. And on this note, I just want to ask, what will be your next line of action? What will be your next line of action? Now I'm going to open I don't know, Coach Richie, should I open the floor for questions now, or should I talk about the conference coming? What are your thoughts? Or Grace, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
It depends because we are way past time. I don't know how fast you can talk about the conference. Okay. Then we can ask questions, or we ask questions and talk about, then we come back to the conference. Which one do you want first? You want to talk about the conference very fast?
Yes, let me do that very fast so that we can take questions. Yes. Okay, so if you got value from this webinar, we're having a conference in 9 days in Lagos, Nigeria. It's a hybrid conference, so you can join both virtually. You don't need to come to Nigeria, and all I've spoken about. That's what the conference is all about, and that's what we are doing. We are changing the narratives. We are going around Africa and saying, no more waste of resources. Let everyone start doing what they need to do. And these are the speakers that will be coming for the conference. We have over 20 speakers. that are coming for the conference from every part of Africa and globally. If you want to register, just scan this and register. If not, we can also put it online. You can go online, you see this, and you register. Old ways won't open new doors. Success doesn't come cheap. It comes with hard work. Are you willing to pay the price for success? The choice is yours now. What will it be? And finally, I just want to say, be happy and feel good about yourself always. Thank you. I remain the Oracle, Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectively. You can take.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the Oracle. The Oracle has taught us something. I hadn't reckoned that point that you have raised of people getting fatigued after being trained for probably 3 days. They will practice what you have trained them. Then they will go to factory setting. The first question, as we wait for the other questions, why do people go to factory settings? Why the Oracle? Why do people go to factory settings?
Because it was not when the training was even designed at the beginning, they were not part of it. Haven't you ever said haven't you been, I'm sure, Coach Chichi, you've seen a situation whereby even in your training room, that happened to me several times, said, I don't know why I'm in this, I don't know why I'm in this class. I don't know why HR sent me in this class. I'm not supposed to be here. So you can imagine if before the training, they had conversations with those that will go for the training and they know that this training will add value to them. And they joined to design what the training will be. They joined to design what the impact will be. Do you think they will go back to factory setting when they were part of it? No, they wouldn't, because they were part of it right from the word go. I hope that answers your question, Coach Richie.
Very good, very good. The other question is, if you have a question or a comment to make on what you have understood tonight, let us have that question. In the meantime, Grace, there's a question here. Do we have the job evaluation masterclass online?
No, for this one, it's not online yet. But maybe next year we shall have a virtual one. But this one is only physical.
All right. You've heard that you have to be there physically in order to understand job evaluation. What is the most difficult thing, as we wait for other questions to come, what is the most difficult thing? Is it lack of technical skills or attitudinal mindset, where you get people just train because they have money? That is what I hear you are saying. What is the problem here?
You know, let me give you a very clear example. Someone asked me this question. He's in Ghana, and when he went to, he learned some of these things, and he went to the client. The client said, "Hey, see, don't just worry. You need to. We have a budget we must finish. Just come and just train and train." So the mindset and that's why I said there are 6 people that will show you ROI and ROE. The first starts with executive management. There must be a mindset. There must be a mindset change. How can the owners of the organizations, they are not interested, they just want to tick the box. So it starts from that. Before we start talking about the technical skills, is it behavioral skills? By the way, behavior again is what, when there's a change in behavior, that is when there's productivity change, increase. When there's a change in behavior. So when we are designing those trainings, we design the behaviors we want to see. So for instance, you want people to smile when clients come in. That's a behavior change. So we are telling them, when people come in, you smile, but we're not going to teach them how to smile, right? We are telling them, this is the behavior we need you to now start projecting. Smile when people come in, but you cannot teach people to smile. That's why you don't train behavior. Rather, the behaviors, when it comes to behavioral things, either you're doing coaching, you're doing mentoring, you're doing counseling or whatever. When it comes to training, what we train knowledge, we train for skill. We don't train behavior. Yeah.
Very good. There's somebody who's asking, where are you based? Yeah, Sandra is based in Nigeria, but she travels around the globe. There is Olesegun who is asking, please, how can we effectively evaluate training on people?
Oh, how you can effectively evaluate training on people? Before, if you had followed, I don't know if you started with us, the first step is, so is this person supposed to the challenge. What's the challenge first? What's the problem? What's the performance gap? Is it training? So let's take it that it's already training. Now you found out that the issue is a training intervention. It's training that will solve it. So you have to sit down with all those that are supposed, the person that is supposed to go for the training, the line manager of the person, and have that conversation. We've seen this gap, and we want to send you on training. What are the things that would help you? Because we want to help you. You're helping the person to be able to do his or her work better. So when you define that very well, you have to define data, and you have to take data. See, HR and L&D people don't like data. I like what Grace is doing, job evaluation, because that's also data. You don't like data. You must like data. It's very important. You must love, not like, you must love data. Before the person went on the training, what data? Take a data. Where was the person? Where do you want the person to be? Take note of that. Now, the gap before where the person went and where the person wants to be. Now, come up with the things that must be done for the person to get to that place. You cannot leave it to the space. It will not happen. It cannot happen. You must define it. The person is on 40%, and if you want the person to be in 70% after the training, what must the person do? What is the person doing at 40%? That person is making the person to be 40%. Now, what must the person do that will give you the person 30% to move the person to 70%? Have you defined that? Sometimes you don't. You just send people on training and you expect them to do magic. They will not do any magic. Nothing will change. Yeah.
The last question, because I can't see questions being typed. I like the issue that you mentioned, that you train people, they go to their workplaces, then they go back to their factory setting. At what point in time should you conduct the return on investment on training? Is there a scientifically accepted time when you should do that after training?
Okay, so it's now depending on the organization.
All
now,
right.
that is part of the planning you do. Some persons start checking, monitoring. So there's something called, and that's where monitoring comes in. That's the post-training. In post-training, you do monitoring and you evaluate. You monitor, you evaluate. You monitor, you evaluate. So for instance, let's give a very practical example. You had already said these are the things the person will do. And you've said we'll be checking in. In a month's time, we check in. In 6 weeks' time, we check in. And within that thing, something happened in the country, maybe economic downtime or something. Are you going to just stay like that? No, you tweak. Now, this has happened. We didn't envisage this. Now, what can we do? So right from before you start training, before the person went on training, you must have designed at what stage to be monitoring. So why some people monitor every week based on their line managers, those that have enough time to do that. Why some monitor once in a month, some monitor every bi-weekly. So it depends on your organization, what you want to see. And of course, it's not just monitoring. You're defining what you're monitoring. At week 2, you should be this. At week 4, you should be this. So you're monitoring to find out what the person is supposed to be showing in week 4. Is the person showing up? The person is not showing it. In week 4, we've expected you to close 5 deals. You've closed only 3 deals. And we said you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to enable you to close 5 deals. And yet you closed only 3 deals. Why did you close 3 deals? What happened? That's where the conversation and coaching starts to know why. And that's why you want.
Very good, Sandra. Your parting shots. What are your parting shots to the professionals who are in this call?
What I'm going to say is, never say no to training scap and say yes to return on investment on return on expectation. Data never lies.
And as you can see, she's available. I saw that you shared your contacts for those people who wish to contact Sandra. She has shared her contacts and email. Thank you very much for finding time to come and refine and polish our understanding of what we should do in learning and development. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a blessed audience. Thank you for having time to come and join us in this discussion. Until we meet on Tuesday for another topic that we really need to demystify. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the night and God bless.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank
you
you.
can
Grace.
join the group. Paul has given us the link to WhatsApp. Please join. If you have not joined yet, you can join. Paul has given us the link to our WhatsApp group. Please join so that you can continue with the conversation as it happens every Tuesday and other main learnings that occur on the platform. Thank you very much, Paul. Good night.
Hare